Hi again, welcome to the last episode where we're going to cover how to use the Flix tools. We've already learned how to set a project, to use Photoshop and Storyboard Pro with Flix, but there are many benefits of using Flix aside from these integrations. Let's first go over how the iteration tools in Flix works. We've already seen in previous episodes that iterations on panels can be found by selecting this bar. From here, if we want to revert back to a previous iteration, we can simply select the image. So this is how Flix will create iterations at a panel level. Go up a level into the sequence. From here we can see all the iterations that were created for this sequence. We can see who created it and when it was created, and find any comments. If you're searching for a specific version, you can filter using a keyword to quickly identify it. So at all times we can go back and see the state of a project at any given point. Let's go back into the last sequence. And from here, we can use the comparison tool. Click on the compare icon, from which we can compare two versions. So we can see here that between these two versions, the panels with the plus icon are the ones that have been added or changed. So we've now seen how Flix will iterate your work at a panel and sequence level. And earlier, we saw a lot of autosaves on my project. If we want to change these settings, go into File Preferences, and under General, set the autosave frequency, and you can disable this feature if you want to. Next, we'll see how we can manage our panels. When a panel is created, information on the panel can be found in the Properties tab. From here, there's information about the panel duration, who made it, when it was created and modified, and where it came from. If you lose a panel, so if you've removed it from the edit and would like to retrieve it, all panels that have been sent to Flix will be stored in the Library tab. From here, you can use filters, so you can type in the panel ID, select the sequence, who made the panel, and when it was created. This all enables you to find lost panels quickly and effectively. Once we've identified the panels we'd like to retrieve, we can simply drag them back into the edit. If we want to bring an image into Flix, you can select on the Import icon and import an image. It's worth noting that this is not a replacement for using Storyboard Pro or Photoshop with Flix, because you'll still lose on the iteration features. Flix is also useful for modifying your initial storyboard. Easily drag panels around to change its order. This brings us to these numbers below the panels. These are panel IDs that are unique to that panel. So if we move it around, we can see that these numbers don't change. So if you're talking to your team members or supervisors about a specific panel, you can refer to it using its ID because it will keep the same one, even after modifying its position. So if your panels move around a lot, this can avoid a lot of confusion. After iterating on a panel, an additional number will appear after the hyphen. This indicates which iteration of this panel you're seeing. Select the bar at the bottom and this will show you the previous ones, with the most recent ones at the top. The next topic we'll address is communication, which is made really easy with Flix. Firstly, we can easily comment on one or multiple panels. Select a panel, and in the Comments tab, we can add a comment. So this is a feature that you'll use to communicate with team members and to write any notes on a panel. So let's say your team leads or supervisor writes a comment saying that this panel needs to be longer. The comment will appear in this tab, and an icon will appear on the panel's thumbnail. So you can already see at a top level if there are any comments just by looking at the panels. After we do what we're instructed, so here I extend the panel duration, then we can resolve the comment. Select the box on the right, and this will remove the comment icon from the panel. Annotations can also be used to draw on top of the panel. So sometimes a director or lead will use this to give instructions as to what needs to be changed. So in this case, I use this to indicate that this character needs to be moved. When created, this annotation will appear as an additional layer. Another feature that can help communication is the highlighting tool. This can be used to color code your panels. So in this case, we will tag some panels that need changing and panels that are completed. And you can use these highlights to flag anything that you want. So we're just using it for this purpose as an example. And once you have many panels in your project and have trouble seeing all of them, you can use the filters to only show panels that are annotated, highlighted, commented, published, and unpublished, and this can help you stay organized. So you've just had a summary of the communication tools in Flix. Let's now go over some of the additional Flix features that are really useful when creating storyboards. So markers can be used to split up a sequence into scenes. So select a panel and the new marker icon, which will add this bar at the top. Keep creating them by selecting the panels and the new marker icon. The next useful feature is the dialogue. So there's already a dialogue tab from which we can modify the dialogue. But there's also a dialogue workspace. Select this icon and select dialogue. From here we can go through the panels, add some dialogue, and even see the dialogue history. The final feature we'll cover today is the recording tool. So if you're required to time the sequence yourself, this can be really easily done in Flix. Select the record tool, and then we can use the keyboard arrows. So we can play the sequence by hitting on the right arrow to move to the next panel. And Flix will record how much time you're spending on each one. Select the record tool again to stop recording, and you'll find that your new timing has been applied. If you want to add your own voiceover, you can also activate the mic options to include that while recording. This feature will help you record a first pitch and time the panels easily. And this completes this series. So we've now seen how we can use the Flix tool as a story artist, understand how to use the integrations with sketching apps, as well as how Flix features can help speed up your workflow. You should now be more confident using Flix.